Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to stop right now. Stop looking at the 5-minute charts. Stop checking the RSI. And stop listening to the noise on the television. Because what I'm holding in my hands right now is not just a leaked financial report. It is a death certificate. It is the official death certificate of the London silver market. Yesterday, January 9th, 2026, at exactly 11:43 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, a secret board directive from HSBC Holdings was leaked to a small group of traders in London. This document, which is marked strictly confidential, board eyes only, contains 7 specific words that will end 150 years of financial dominance. 7 words that confirm everything we've been screaming about for decades. 7 words that prove the London Bullion Market Association is a fraud. Those words are: London silver market no longer viable. Exit immediately. Let that sink in for a moment. HSBC, the bank that built the London silver market, the bank that clears 65% of all LBMA silver trades, has just admitted in writing that the game is over. They aren't just exiting a small position. They are running for their lives. The directive explicitly states that they must close a short position of 7.3 billion ounces of silver by January 31st. That is just 21 days from today. And the price target they have calculated, the number they presented to their own board of directors, they project that this emergency exit will push the price of silver to $347 per ounce. This is not a drill. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is the internal math of the biggest bank in London admitting that they have broken the market. Now, put on your detective hat and ask yourself, why would HSBC burn down their own house? Why would they destroy a market they have controlled since 1871? They aren't doing it because they want to. They are doing it because they have been caught. We dug deep into this 8-page directive, and we found 3 catastrophic crises that are forcing their hand. The first crisis is fraud, pure and simple. The document reveals a scandal called the allocated silver fraud. Under the rules, allocated silver means physical bars sitting in a vault with your name on them. Bars that cannot be lent and cannot be sold. HSBC told their clients they held 380 million ounces of this allocated silver. But when the internal auditors went into the vault between December 20th and January 7th, do you know what they found? They found only 47 million ounces. 333 million ounces are missing. Where did it go? The report admits it. They leased it out. They took the silver that belonged to their clients, and they leased it to short sellers to suppress the price, and now the short sellers can't pay it back. The bars are gone. And here's the deadline. The LBMA has given them until January 15th to prove the silver exists or face criminal prosecution. They have less than a week to find 333 million ounces of physical metal in a market that is bone dry. They are cornered. But if you think fraud is the only problem, look at crisis number 2, the insurance. You cannot run a global bank without insurance. And the only entity big enough to insure HSBC's massive silver book is Lloyd's of London. But the directive reveals that on January 8th, Lloyd sent a termination letter. They told HSBC, we know about the missing silver. We know the inventory doesn't match the books. This is fraud, and we do not insure fraud. Lloyd's is canceling their coverage on January 31st. Do you understand what that means? On February 1st, HSBC's 7.3 billion ounce short position becomes illegal under Basel III capital rules. Without insurance, the regulators will shut down the entire bank. They have a gun to their head. They have to close every single contract, buy back every single ounce, and exit the market before the clock strikes midnight on January 31st. But the final nail in the coffin, the reason the board voted yes to the suicide mission, is China. Of those 333 million missing ounces, a massive chunk belongs to the People's Republic of China. The directive states that Chinese sovereign wealth funds hold 280 million ounces in those allocated accounts. And on January 7th, China asked for their silver back. They asked for delivery. And HSBC had to tell them, we don't have it. China didn't take that well. The directive states that Beijing has threatened to file a lawsuit in the International Court of Justice for $500 billion in damages. They have threatened to freeze HSBC's assets in Hong Kong, which total over $100 billion. They have threatened to arrest executives for theft of state assets. This isn't just a bank run anymore. It is a geopolitical hostage situation. HSBC has to find the silver to pay back China, or they lose Asia. So, let's look at the math of the exit. This is where the price target comes from. This is why they are projecting $347. HSBC needs to buy 7.3 billion ounces. The entire world. Every mine in Mexico, every mine in Peru, every mine in Russia combined, only produces 800 million ounces a year. Do the division. 7.3 billion divided by 800 million. That is 9.1 years of global production. They need to buy 9 years' worth of silver, and they have to do it in 21 days. It is mathematically impossible to do this without breaking the price. They are trying to squeeze an elephant through a keyhole. Their own risk consultants modeled 3 scenarios. Scenario 1, the best case, projected $298. Scenario 2, the median case, projected $347. And Scenario 3, the worst case, where everyone panics, projected $534 per ounce. This isn't some YouTuber making a prediction. This is the internal calculation of the bank that is about to push the buy button. They are setting aside $211 billion just to pay for the losses. They are selling stocks, selling bonds, selling real estate, just to raise the cash to survive the silver squeeze. And what happens to London? The directive is brutal. It says clearly, HSBC's exit may trigger the collapse of the LBMA. The London market relies on 5 market makers to function: HSBC, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Scotia, and UBS. If HSBC leaves, the system breaks, because the rules require 5 banks to keep the doors open. If they leave, the London silver fix dies. The pricing mechanism that has suppressed silver for a century evaporates. This means the physical market is finally decoupling from the paper market. The fraud of the LBMA is ending. And when it ends, the price discovery moves to the physical reality. The directive admits that while the paper price might hit $347, the physical premiums will explode. They expect physical silver to trade at $470 to $510. That gap, that difference between paper and physical, is where the real wealth transfer happens. But here is the warning. Here is why I'm making this video. The directive has a section titled Retail Strategy. HSBC knows they can't find enough silver in the market. So, where are they going to get it? From you. The document explicitly outlines a plan to coordinate with brokers and media to encourage profit-taking. They're going to tell you that silver is overbought. They're going to tell you to sell at 90, at 100, at 120. They want you to look at those gains and feel smart. They want you to sell your coins so they can use them to pay back China. Do not fall for it. Why would you sell at $100 when the bank that is buying from you has a target of $347? Why would you sell when they are facing jail time if they don't get your metal? You are holding the winning lottery ticket, and they are trying to buy it from you for the price of a ham sandwich. Let's look at the schedule. The directive breaks it down into 3 phases. Phase 1, from January 10th to January 15th, is the panic buy. They need 50 million ounces just to survive the audit. They expect the price to hit $115 this week. Phase 2, from January 16th to January 23rd, is the paper cover. They start closing the futures contracts. Price target, $210. And Phase 3, from January 24th to January 31st, is the final squeeze. They settle with China and close the books. Price target, $347. It starts today. HSBC becomes a buyer today. They are buying 347 million ounces a day, every day, for 3 weeks. And look who wins. The report calculates the wealth transfer. China, Russia, and India hold over 3 billion ounces of silver. At $82, their reserves are worth $262 billion. At $347, their reserves become $1.1 trillion. HSBC is effectively handing over nearly $840 billion of wealth to the BRICS nations. This is the end of Western financial dominance. It is the greatest transfer of wealth in history, and it is happening in the next 21 days. So, what is the verdict? The document is real. The crisis is real. The target is locked. HSBC has surrendered. The London market is dead. The allocated lie is exposed. You have two choices. You can listen to the media, sell your stack at $100, and watch from the sidelines as history is made. Or you can do what the insiders are doing. You can hold for the audit deadline, hold for the insurance expiration, hold for the Chinese delivery, hold until the price reflects the reality of a world without silver. HSBC is betting $211 billion that the price goes to $347. I am betting they are right. This is the end game. The window is closing. If you have cash, buy. If you have metal, hold. Do not waver. Do not blink. The alert is red. The target is $347. Let's go.